Final Wars Mothra. No, it's Heisei Trilogy Mothra. It ain't so clear. Tokyo SOS Mothra. Yeah. And what makes you so sure about that, Doctor? The tags clearly aren't from Tokyo SOS. Dear God, I don't believe I'm going to say it, but I think I kind of agree with SH Butt Baby over there. You know, I am right most of the time. I ain't use Wikizilla. Won't say Tokyo SOS Mothra. Oh, alright. I don't know. These look pretty Heisei to me. It's on Wikizilla. We saw the screenshot. Shut up. I still say Heisei. Balloon's a big idiot, you know that?
ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai movie monster series Tokyo SOS, Mothra Imago, and Larva. A reissue of the 2003 and 5 Imago Mothra with differing paint, and a possible reissue of the 2003 male or female Mothra Larva with differing paint as well. This go-around, Mothra is sporting less paint, so it seems, from her prior movie monster series iterations, while Larva Mothra kinda just steals the damn show. Time to move on into paint and detail. Up first, let's take a look at the MOOTH. So from the time of release, I was under the impression that this Mothra was somewhat lacking in some areas, but I do remember being rather impressed. Yeah, she's not fully painted on the undersides of her wings, but the amount of detail that was included in this release was very magnificent, and I still feel the same. You can see the little details on her creepy little moth legs. You can see the beautiful fur detail on her wings. She's got those beautifully textured Mothra eyes. Beautifully detailed Mothra mouth as well. I am very much a fan of how this was painted up, including this little space in between Mothra's eyes. I think that looks pretty cool. The antennae kind of look like yogurt sticks dipped in chocolate. But when it comes to Mothra's back over here, I gotta say I really like the browns and the oranges used. I just wish that the paint that was used over here to kind of give it that multi-tonal look was used on the body as well. Granted, it looks just fine, yes, but it kind of looks like a bowl of Cocoa Puffs. Whereas over here on the wings, they give off this burnt marshmallow look, and the fact that it doesn't carry over to the rest of the body is a bit of a bummer. But I do so enjoy that we get some minor highlighting on Mothra's thorax over here. Whether it was intentional or not, I really don't care. And we can see some of the detail on Mothra's stinger. And now we gotta talk about the wings. I really don't understand what was so hard about filling out these spaces on the opposite side. Like, it's just black, yellow, and red. Well, that's so hard to do, but anyway, the detail on the wings is fantastic. Looks like we got some light ripplage on here, some minor details at the sides of the wings over here. We've got some premium fur detail on the tops of the wings over here along the rims. And of course, that'll be present on both sides. Ooh, never noticed how messy that brown paint was until now. But regardless, the detail is fantastic, and the paint is pretty good too. And now let's move on to Mothra Larva, either male or female. And again, I am not sure if this is a reissue of a pre-existing sculpt, or if it is just an entirely new sculpt, but I must say, the paint and detail on Mothra Larva is rather fantastic. Yeah, it kinda does look like I'm holding a turd with a face over here, but I really have to give my credits to Bandai. They knocked this figure out of the park. I love the little bumps and grooves that form towards the underside of Mothra over here. I love that there is some fantastic detail on the bottom of the figure as well. And most of all, I just really love how this was painted. It just looks so good. And I'm honestly not much of a bug person, but this is just high-key adorable. Love the metallic blue eyes. And I love that they're all tiny and sunken into Mothra's skull. As you can see, we got some feet over here, very nicely detailed on both sides. The detail on the bottom, on the front, and on the top of the little Mothra mouth over here does look rather good. And these little Hornish-looking things over here might not be painted on all sides, but they do look awesome, and they do break the overall look of the figure up rather nicely. I also just love that there's like this little bit of highlighting going on in between the eyes over here. Other than that, there's really not too much more I can say about Mothra Larva, but this figure absolutely stole the show when I first got these in, and still to this day. I'm going to give both Imago and Larva 2 solid stars in terms of paint and detail. Despite Mothra over here feeling a little on the half-painted side, I still have to give Bandai credit. What they did do looked pretty good. Now let's move on to tags and articulation. Now, the images on these tags did lead to some confusion because not many people were really sure which iteration of Mothra this was, but I will say the tag image is rather nice, very angelic and mothy-like it a lot. Got the back of the tag with Mothra's wing and such, and this only furthers my hopes for a 1964 Mothra from the Bandai Movie Monster series. That'd be great. Putting it in the Toho vault, yes. And when it comes to young MOOTH over here in terms of articulation, you're only gonna get it in the head. Nothing else moves. Nothing at the wings, nothing at the thorax, nothing at the legs, obviously. Just head articulation. Taking a look at this lovely tag for Mothra Larva over here. We've got Mothra Larva on the side of a building over here about the cocoon itself. And as you can see, it says Mothra, Godzilla 2018. We've got the back of Mothra Larva over here cut out to the side of the tag. And we've got the basic Bandai Movie Monster series tag contents here. And in all honesty, I'm really hoping Bandai and Toho don't get lazy and just call this like the definitive Mothra Larva figure. I do love it, but I would like to see the other designs properly represented. And in terms of articulation, you're going to get a very tough swivel at the head, just like Imago Mothra, and nothing else. And I remember being honestly rather surprised that the head moved, because when looking at the promo pictures of this, I really didn't notice the seam over here, and I just thought I was gonna get, well, a log of shit. Yes, friends, yes, neighbors, I am aware that the back of the tag says Godzilla vs. Mothra on both figures. This is very clearly wrong, as this is obviously the 2003 Larva, and this is the 2005 Mothra, both of which ultimately originated from the 2003 line of Movie Monster series releases. I don't want to think that Bandai were lazy enough to just re-release another mold and call it something else, but I guess I can't say I'd be too surprised if that was their original intent. Anyway, I'm gonna give both Imago and Larva Mothra 2 solid stars in terms of articulation, because I really wasn't expecting anything from them, and the fact that we got something is more than enough for me. Size comparison times, small, medium, large, and some related bits. Imago might be a bit short on the paint, but she's got enough to move on by, while Larva Mothra personally is an absolute smash hit. Super 7 seemed to have the right idea in terms of Mothra representation, and I hope Bandai gets the hint sometime soon. She's got a major anniversary on the way, so let's get it going there, Bandai. And since I have no prior versions of either of these figures, I figured I'd just do a quick picture comparison to end this shorty off. When it comes to Mothra, the 2003 release had these extended legs, more intense shading and paint on top of it. The underside was properly taken care of, and Mothra features a more solid black stripe between her eyes. The Fire Mothra, that was a theater exclusive figure, featured the exact same mold as this release. The 2005 release is much closer to this release, as it features nearly the same paint patterns, of course with a few differences here and there. But most of all, it features the tucked in legs, something that I wish really didn't replace the extended legs, as those actually helped Mothra stand upright. The Mothra Larva, however, after some minor research, I have found that this is the female larva with a new coat of paint, as the male version features a more bent upwards posture with an open mouth. I was unsure about the mold, but I am now 100% sure that this is the same mold from 2003 onwards. My only question here is, when the heck are we getting a male Mothra Larva reissue, Bandai? It's needed. She all alone, bruh. And that's about enough out of me. Imago and Larva Mothra were two very strong releases from the Movie Monster series, save for Imago Mothra being a little on the underpainted side. Yet another remake under the belt for the Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews outfit. And honestly, I'm actually kind of enjoying doing these remakes and talking about these figures that I talked about so long ago. It's kind of cool just revisiting all of that. But anyway, until next we meet, which will likely be on Monday, I will see you all then and there. Hope you all have a lovely weekend, day, afternoon, night, whatever. Many loving and good wishes from me to you. Bye.